This year has been filled with amazing highlights from every sport across campus here at Lawrence Tech. On today's show, we head to the lanes to give you a little ball return on the 2020-21 men's and women's bowling season rewind. Hello everybody and welcome into the LTU Sports Report. I'm your host Dillon Morello, and the Sports Report is presented by Lawrence Technological University, and we are sponsored by Henry Ford Sports Medicine. So coming up first on this season recap for both LTU bowling teams, we start right at the beginning with the first practice report.
Taking a big break from bowling, say from March of 2020 to now, we're in October, and we're just still getting back into the swing of things. It's been really crazy, and it's the longest I've ever gone my whole life since I was like 4 years old without bowling.
I know some of the girls bowl on leagues in the summer, and we didn't get to do that, so it took us a while to get back into our practice.
I was really nervous. I wasn't exactly sure how my body would hold up, but it went better than expected. I was really excited to get back out on the lanes.
We compete all year round and we practice all year round. And this year, because of everything that's going on, we don't have anything going on in the fall semester. So our first tournament isn't until January. So that's kind of good because we have this semester now to kind of practice and get things back together. But it's definitely weird, not traveling right now and going to tournaments.
I think all of us returning players are definitely, we feel like we have some unfinished business that we need to get done this year.
I think we're going to be really good. We were going to be really good last season, but I think with the new freshmen coming in, we'll be good and back to where we were.
My experience on the team has been very welcoming. All the girls are really nice and the coaches are very helpful.
So joining a brand new team, it's been very different than in Canada because we don't have high school bowling. So really getting that team bonding experience has been really important to me. And all the girls are really, really nice. And yeah, I just really like bonding with them. It's awesome.
The new freshmen are awesome. They're all very experienced, which is huge. And personality-wise, they are fitting in so well with us. I think it's going to be a really good dynamic team this season.
Hi, I'm Carly Dulugos. I'm a freshman here at Lawrence Tech and I'm studying mechanical engineering. My favorite movie is CORALINE. I always like Tim Burton movies. My favorite type of music is country music, and I'm really into Luke Combs. My favorite restaurant is Chipotle, but I do like other foods, like other Italian foods, like pasta.
Sports are slowly coming back to Lawrence Tech, and the men's and women's bowling teams are up first. Both teams traveled to Kalamazoo, Michigan this past weekend for the season's first jamboree. The boys in blue showed up big, placing second overall, led by sophomore Jacob Hujawa and freshman Hervon Webster, who both finished in the top 15. Over on the women's side of things, the Lady Blue Devils placed third overall, led by junior Lauren Pabelich, who placed in the top 20. Strong start for both the Lawrence Tech men's and women's bowling teams, who are back in action this Saturday, January 30th.
My name's Caroline Holowenko and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. My favorite movie is actually Frozen 2 at the moment because I'm in love with the soundtrack. My favorite type of music, I honestly listen to anything and everything, but I really like Thomas Rhett. He's a country artist. He's amazing. My favorite song by him is probably Crash and Burn. It's a really good song. My favorite food is chicken nuggets and fries because they don't touch and they're deep fried, so they're unhealthy. My favorite vacation spot is Jasper, Alberta. It's the Rocky Mountains, and I love going hiking there.
After a second-place finish in WHAC number 1 from the men and a third-place finish from the women, both teams looked for and earned redemption at their home alley at 5 Star Lanes in Sterling Heights. On the men's side, the guys came out with a monstrous start, delivering a whopping 13-16 team game to take an early 258-pin lead. Freshman Noah Samuels even achieved perfection in his first collegiate game, launching a 300 to lead the way. Samuels trekked his way to a second-place individual finish with games of 300, 226, and a 213 for a 739 series. In team games 2 and 3, the Blue Devils delivered an 11-10 and a 10-75 to maintain a 200-pin advantage. Taking the reins for games 2 and 3 was freshman Michael Weber, delivering a 246 and a 249 after already shooting to 280 in game 1. Weber brought home a first-place individual finish, which earned him WHAC Men's Bowler of the Week honors. The men had too big of a lead for anyone to catch and solidified their first-place finish after 10 final Baker games, winning WHAC Jamboree number 2 by over 400 pins. On the women's side, the Blue Devils shot a 10:54 to lead after game 1, and they never looked back. They went on to shoot a field high 992 for game 2 and again a field high 1073 in game 3. For the Baker games, the ladies averaged 208 through the 10 games, over 10 pins higher than the next closest team. Overall, they smashed the field, defeating second place by over 300 pins and third place by over 600 pins. On the individual side, senior Victoria Giardina demolished the competition, rolling a 267 game 1, followed by a 251 and a 197 for a 715 series to claim the top spot in the individual standings. Giardina also earned herself WHAC Bowler of the Week honors for her performance. Caroline Holowenko wasn't far behind with a 254 game 3 to shoot 649 and finish 4th. All 5 starters finished inside the top 20 to propel the Blue Devils to a first-place finish for WHAC Jamboree number 2. After 2 outings, both the men's and women's teams have slight leads in the conference standings. They'll both look to extend their dominance on Saturday the 6th at the WHAC Jamboree number 3 in Lansing.
I'm Miranda Rumpel, and I'm a third-year student at Lawrence Tech. My favorite movie is Back to the Future, and I guess any of them, honestly. And I just really love them because they're so out there and they're so different, and they have like that classic like 80s like feel to them, and I just love that. My favorite kind of music is kind of like old classic rock, and currently my favorite band is Greta Van Fleet, so if you haven't heard of them, go check them out. My favorite food is definitely pizza. Jets Pizza in particular. Give me just a normal Jets Pizza with some ranch, and I'll go to town. My favorite TV show is Overhaulin' with Chip Foose. It's kind of a TV show where they take older cars and they make them custom and make them super cool, so that's what I love to watch.
We're going to step aside for a short commercial break to hear from our sponsors, but don't go anywhere because we have this year's WHAC tournament highlights when we get back.
If you're a high school athlete with the dream of playing college sports, Lawrence Technological University wants you to recruit yourself. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports, including its newest additions, competitive cheer and dance, esports, women's hockey, and men's and women's track and field. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
Welcome back to the LTU Sports Report. A lot of team highlights already in the show, but also some personal ones for multiple players on both the men's and women's bowling teams. Freshman sensation Michael Weber not only snagged Rookie of the Year in his first campaign, he also was able to grab All-American alongside Victoria Giardina and Bailey Gibson on the women's squad. LTU would like to congratulate those 3 players on their accomplishments as we now head to some WHAC tournament highlights.
Fresh off a regular season title, the LTU men's bowling team made the excursion over to Imperial Lanes in Clinton Township to compete in the 2021 WHAC Conference Tournament. Taking home the crown in the previous 4 years, the Blue Devils were the ones to watch for on Saturday the 27th. Consistent was one of the words Coach Joe Alvord used to describe the team for the final WHAC event of the season, and he was right on point. Throughout the 16 Baker games of qualifying, the LTU men never had a game under 190, but only had one game in the 240s. However, consistency showed to be key as they settled into third place with sets of 879, 871, 814, and another 814. The Blue Devils averaged 211, which would put them up against the Cardinals of Concordia University for the first round of match play. For the best 3 of 5 series between the 2 and 3 seeds, each game was a nail-biter. However, the Cardinals were able to edge out each of the 3 games by scores of 213 to 201, 228 to 225, and 223 to 211. Concordia would eventually drop the final match to Indiana Tech, 3 games to 0.
The men's team bowled excellent today. We communicated great. We threw the ball excellent.
So we really came in with a game plan based off of practice. We executed well. In the end, it just kind of worked out in our favor. And sometimes that's bowling.
Season awards were also handed out on Saturday, where the Blue Devils received some well-deserved accolades from their regular season performances. Along with taking home the regular season title, freshman Michael Weber of Tonawanda, New York, cleaned house by making first-team All-Conference, nabbing Newcomer of the Year, and even achieved the honor of WHAC Player of the Year.
It's a really good feeling because I know I did it to help the team here, and we really are. It really is a great group of guys to bowl good for. But yeah, it does feel nice to bring home some hardware for yourself and be the best bowler here in the WHAC Conference.
Senior Cody Johnston also earned himself a spot on first-team All-Conference for his performance throughout the regular season, while fellow senior Taryn Heersma and sophomore Jacob Kajawa qualified for second-team All-Conference.
Was honored to be on first-team All-Conference, and that's just based off of our 4 tournaments in the year and based off of average.
We took home a lot of awards today, including a lot of all-academic second-team awards, first-team awards, specifically Taryn Heersma for the Champion of Character.
It's awarded to just a good leader on your team, and I am really proud to win that award.
Head coach John Putty also received Coach of the Year honors for leading the team to a triumphant regular season. The Blue Devils' next opportunity to emerge victorious will be at the Falcon Classic on March 13th. After knocking off Indiana Tech during the regular season and earning their first regular season title since 2017, the women's bowling team was poised to double down on this year's success and grab themselves a WHAC tournament title on Saturday in Clinton Township. There were many ups and downs for the 16 Baker games of qualifying for the Blue Devils at the WHAC tournament. Games of 234, 232, 217, and 215 were the highs, but a few games below 170 as some lows. In the end, though, LTU settled into third place after averaging 189 for the 16 games. They would then take on the 2-seeded Saints of Aquinas in match play. To start the best-of-5 series, they took a 1-0 lead, winning Game 1 198 to 162. In Game 2, they flirted with perfection after tailing the first 9 strikes, but went on to shoot 278 and take Game 2 as well. After dropping Game 3, LTU rebounded quickly to take Game 4 to win the series 3-1 and move on to the finals to take on rival Indiana Tech. The Warriors of Indiana Tech cruised through the first couple games, taking Game 1 222 to 157 and Game 2 258 to 193. Game 3 was much closer as it came down to the 10th frame, but the Blue Devils couldn't make up the difference and dropped Game 3 172 to 165.
Qualifying went really, really well. I mean, we struggled in a couple of games, but in general, I think we bowled the way we wanted. We executed the shots the way we wanted. We played the lanes the way we wanted. And then we got into match play, and the first set, really, really well. Everything went our way. But it seemed when we got to those middle pair down there, it just, the shot was a lot tighter. We had no room. We had no miss room.
I think that we did pretty well. We stayed together like as a team, and we actually kept our energy up. We did have a low point, but we were able to come back, and just in match play, we had good luck. It just didn't carry for us. So
you miss, it doesn't matter because the rest of the team is there to pick you up and keep the game moving. And so that's how we got through qualifying. We had a few rough games in there, but we just kept building it back up with each other, getting loud, cheering, just being there for each other as a team.
Season awards were also given out on Saturday, and the Blue Devils took a clean sweep of them. WHAC Player of the Year went to Victoria Giardina, averaging 211 for the season, while Caroline Holowenko took home WHAC Newcomer of the Year honors. Coach Kevin Weems also earned Coach of the Year after the Blue Devils emerged victorious during the regular season.
They put the time in when they practice hard, they practice smart. We say practice with purpose, and I believe that's what we've really turned that on this year, and I think it shows in our bowling. If you look at our percentages, they're way up from where they were last year, and I see it as only getting better as time goes on.
I don't really try to take days off. I put work in. I'm normally the first one I practice, the last one I practice, and I'll go out on my own, and I think that being practicing and staying with it, you just can't take no breaks.
Senior Giardina and freshman Holowenko both qualified for first team All-Conference, while junior Bailey Gibson grabbed a spot on second team All-Conference. They'll hit the road on March 13th to compete in the Falcon Classic, hosted by Bowling Green University, for their next chance to grab a title.
I'm Sydney Clark and I'm a junior. My favorite movie is Black Panther. I really like the storyline and the action and also how it ties into all the other Avenger movies. My favorite type of food is Italian food. I was raised basically eating pasta, so. My favorite vacation spot is Chicago. I love the big city. I like walking around and looking at all the tall buildings. My favorite singer is The Weeknd. I love listening to his music and how he hasn't made a bad song yet. Favorite show to watch is Money Heist on Netflix. Basically about a bunch of robbers going into the Royal Bank of Spain and robbing it. So.
After a 2-year hiatus, the NAIA National Championships finally unfolded once again, and this year they took place at the home of LTU Bowling in Sterling Heights, Michigan at 5 Star Lanes. After WHAC regular season conference victories for both the men's and women's teams, each group was poised to fight for a national championship over the weekend. After 24 games of qualifying on Thursday, the women found themselves sitting comfortably as the number 3 seed. They averaged 198 for the 24 games, earning them a bye and a matchup with the 6-seeded Midland University Warriors. After taking the first 2 games, shooting 196 and 208 in the best 3 of 5 match, they then dropped their next 3 to move down to the losers bracket. Grandview was their next opponent and the script was flipped. LTU lost the first 2 games but took the next 3 to move on to the next round. The 4-seeded Bears of Pikeville were next up, and it was a back-and-forth match the entire way. The Bears took games 1 and 3, while the Blue Devils took games 2 and 4, bringing the match to a 5th and final game. However, it would be Pikeville who emerged victorious in Game 5, winning 191 to 185. After qualifying as the 1 seed and running the winners bracket, fellow WHAC member Indiana Tech ended up taking home the title. After tying Game 1 in the finals, they took 3 of the next 4 games to defeat Midland University. On the men's side, LTU just missed out on a first-round bye, qualifying 7th of 10 to miss the top 6 by just 4 pins. However, they started out strong, taking the first match on Friday morning 3-1 versus 10-seeded Kansas Wesleyan. The Pikeville Bears were up next, but the Blue Devils couldn't get anything going. They were swept by the Bears and moved down to the losers bracket where they faced elimination. The 8-seed William Penn was up next, and after a strong start taking Game 1, the Blue Devils dropped the next 3, losing the match 3-1 and were ultimately eliminated. It would take a second finals match when St. Francis came out of the losers bracket and defeated Martin Methodist in the first finals match. In the second match, it went to a final Game 5, where the Fighting Saints of St. Francis would clinch it and bring home a banner as 2021 NAIA National Champions. USBC sectionals will be up next for both the men's and women's teams as they attempt to qualify for the Intercollegiate Team Championships, which will be held in early May in Wyoming, Michigan.
That's a wrap on this year's L2 Men's and Women's Bowling Season Rewind. With this, both Blue Devil teams ended their season as the WHAC regular season champions alongside great individual accolades and an ITC Bowling Regional Championship. So once again, I'm your host, Dillon Morello, and be sure to follow L2 Athletics on social media for more videos, photos, and articles. You can also listen to our Blue Devils in-depth podcast on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you next time right here on the LTU Sports Report.